Hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay. I was having a little bit of trouble with my camera earlier, so I wasn't recognizing it. So we'll see. If you guys are here, I would love for you to say hi in the chat. So if you are watching this later, the recorded version, if you would give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below, letting me know if you liked this video. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter than my previous live videos. Probably, I want to say 30-ish minutes. We'll see. I gave myself an hour, so we'll see. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. Hello, Karen, Anne, Lucy. Hello, everybody. Sound is good. Okay. Because my mic is a little bit away. I mean, it's not too far, but want to make sure that it's sounding okay. Hello, Sarah. All right. So this is a follow-up from a previous video, and it was a recorded sped up video where I added a bunch of texture to these tags, and we're just going to add some color to them using some of these products or all of them. I tried to pick out a lot of different types. I'm loud. Is it too loud? Because before no one can hear me, Barbara. So let me know if it's too loud and I'll try not to talk so loud. I feel like I talk really softly, so normally. Okay, sound is good. All right. So anyways, if you are watching after the live, then like I said, give this video a thumbs up. If you are joining in the chat live here right now, give this video a thumbs up and say hello in the chat. And we'll see what we can come up with. All right. So like I said, I have a bunch of different mediums here. So I have distress sprays, color bloom sprays, Dylusion sprays, Art Alchemy paints, and then the waxes, which is mainly for the black. But you can use them on white as well, some of the metallic ones, and then the antique brilliance ones. And I do have a separate video for that. You'll just have to try to find it on my channel. Can't remember if it's what it's titled exactly, but if you just search Art Alchemy Wax on my channel, you can find it. A lot of people have found it helpful, so let me see. Hello, Stephanie, Sarah, Barbara, Lucy, Live to Learn, Rosie, and Karen. Want to make sure that I see everybody. All right. So I have some watercolors as well, and then if I'm feeling very adventurous and brave, I'm going to use some of the color burst powders, which I absolutely love, but they are really messy. So we'll see. We'll see. Hello, Louise, Dominique. All right, I'm going to move some of this out of the way a little bit. And if you are just joining, let me see if I can turn off the autofocus really quickly. Sorry, you guys, or else it's gonna drive me crazy. what is this camera called? And it'll probably drive you guys crazy as well. Let's see. Is that a little bit better? All right. It's a little bit more in, especially when I'm doing the texture or the adding the color and stuff. All right, so if you're just joining, I am going to be adding color to these tags that I created in a previous video, and we'll see. I'm trying out this program. It's called Nightbot. It's supposed to automatically put in the chat different things that I told it to. So we'll see. I don't know. I think I didn't have enough time to play with it. But if you want to see this video, it's just the last one that I had uploaded. So you guys can go check it out. All right. And I will try to, well, I think it'll be pretty easy to remember what I did on what tag, so you guys can get an idea. I am going to change the light on here too. Sorry, you guys. It's supposed to save, but you know, sometimes it never works out that way. So try not to do it too much. All right. Let me say hello last time to everybody, and then I'll get going. Stephanie, Louise, Dominique, Serena. I think I've said hi to everybody. If I didn't, I'm really sorry. And if you're just joining, I hope you say hello in the chat and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, just finding this randomly, I hope you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you guys can be notified whenever I upload a video. Also, a lot of the supplies I'm using are listed in the description box. And I am going to just really quickly tell you guys today on scrapbook.com, they have a 9% off your order. And I am an affiliate with them. That just means that I earn a little bit of, you know, a little commission with them, nothing much or anything. You don't have to use the links, but I'm just letting you know that if you are curious about any of the supplies. All right, let me get started. I'm going to do the lace one first. And what I did is if you missed the video and you're just joining for this live, I did white gesso and black gesso, so you can see the difference in how the texture looks if you want to add sprays or with the black, the Art Alchemy Wax. So we're going to do the, what is this? The lace first. Let me do, I'm going to do some watercolor. No, I take that back. I'm going to do some color bloom sprays. So when you're doing texture like this, the idea is to add the texture, of course, and this is just one layer of texture. When you're doing mixed media, a lot of times you will do multiple layers. So say like stamping, and then you can even combine a lot of these textures ideas into one project, but I just did one layer per tag so you guys can kind of get an idea. And then so you add your first color, which will be your lightest color. So in this case, I'm wanting to add this dragonfly blue, and then I'll add a darker color, which will probably be like a black color. So let me see. Oh, let me get my paper towels really quickly. How long did it take to dry? Not very long. The ones like the paste and the crackle paste, And the, what else did I use? Like the sandy one. Really not very long at all. Probably 30 minutes or so, I want to say. It's hard for me because I never, when I am doing a project, like a full project, I never wait for anything to dry. Unless I have to, unless I'm in the middle of a project and then I have to go do something. But I rarely ever wait around for something to dry. All right, so again, this is white gesso, and then I'm going to add some color bloom spray, and this is a dragonfly blue. Add a little bit of color, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. And you can kind of just let it do its thing. All right, and let me get a darker color here really quickly. Maybe. I've tried to put the little tabs on the top so I know what colors are what, but it never works. So when you're adding the darker color to the lighter color, you really want to do it when it's wet so that it can kind of mix a little bit together, and it'll give you a lot of dimension to your project. So this case, I'm going to just take the nozzle out of the bottle, and then I'm just going to kind of tap it where I want a little bit of that darker color to add dimension to the project. And you can use a paintbrush if you want to. Oh, I'm flinging this all over my wall. Don't tell my husband. All right. I think what I need to do is everybody quiet in the chat? The chat isn't moving. If you are just joining, I hope you say hi in the chat. All right. And I'm not going to go, into too much detail of exactly how I would do this. I do have lots of videos of full projects of adding color and how I do it. But this is just to give you an idea of if you were to use the different textures that I, did in the video, of how it would kind of look when you add color to it. And then if you want, you can go in with more of this. Hello, Moonstone. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea of what, like lacy type material. And you can use any type of fabric you want. I did use a couple different types of fabric in the texture ideas. So. And I get asked a lot how I get it to look so good together. I think less is more, especially when you are first starting out, because when I first started, I would just spray and spray and spray and add and add and add. And then I didn't like how it looked because there was too much color and it didn't blend. It just became a muddy mess and it went in the trash. So I would suggest just adding a little bit of color at a time. And even like I did, taking the nozzle out and using a paintbrush, because then you can get in, you know, you could be more precise of where you add the color. So just a little tip. Okay, see, that's what I was worried about with this Nightbot program. I'm not sure what, I'm sorry if I don't know what you had said, but this is an Nightbot is an automated program, and I'm still just getting used to it, and I don't know what you had said. So I do apologize. I'm sure it was nothing wrong or anything. And I didn't even put anything on the list of any banned words or phrases or anything like that. So I don't know what the deal is with that. So I do apologize for that. You know what it is? I think it's because you're using too many emojis for some reason. I think it just doesn't like it. And I'm definitely going to have to play around with that a little bit more. All right. I do apologize for that. I did read it, and I hope you had a very great holiday as well. And I am sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. Xrisa. So one last time, I really do feel bad that it keeps deleting your comments. I really am truly sorry, but I did read it, and I do think that it's because you're using too many emojis. I think it just doesn't like it. It thinks that you're spamming the chat. So anyways, all right, I'm going to get back to the project. Just know that I appreciate you. All right. Oh, did it tag you too, Stephanie? Oh my goodness. All right, that's what I get for trying to use a program that I know nothing about, right? If it keeps doing it, I'll go in the program and I will, because I don't know how it works, but I'll delete the program from being on my channel. All right, we're gonna do the black gesso now. I would go in a little bit more with the darker color if I was doing a project, but I think you guys kind of get the idea. All right, see if you could see how it just gets in all of the texture and underneath. And I love using doilies and lace and different things like that to add texture to my projects. All right, so we're gonna go with the black gesso now. And for this one, I'm just gonna add a little bit of the wax. I do have some of the metallic paints to use as well, but I'm just going to use a little bit of the wax. So I'm just going to do a simple color, which is Old Silver. So if you're not familiar with the waxes, I do have a full video on my channel of the 3 different types and how to use them. And I go and show you each different color as well. So this case, you can use a really stiff brush. Normally I have a brush that I just use specifically for the wax, but I'm not sure where it is. So we're just going to use my finger. So what I like to do is I kind of just rub my finger on the cap. And if there isn't any wax in the cap, then I'll just take it from here and then I'll kind of rub a little bit off. Because you don't want to be too heavy-handed with this, because you just want to highlight the texture on top, just like this. And you can do this technique, highlighting the texture, with white gesso as well. And again, a lot of these products that I'm using are going to be in the description box. So that one is pretty simple. You could see how it just gave all of that texture life. And because it's black gesso, it has a lot of dimension already. You don't really need to add, you know, any other colors, but I will be doing 2 different colors in a minute here. All right, so this was the lace. This one is the, I'm trying to think, the modeling paste, the light and fluffy paste, I believe. Let's see. Let's do some distress spray. This is, I'm sorry, this is Evergreen Bough Distress Spray Stain. So what I did, if you haven't watched the video of the me creating all these tags with all the texture, is I just took the palette knife off of my desk. So I took some of the modeling paste, or light and fluffy paste, I'm sorry, and I just ran a thickish, I mean in between a thick and thin layer of the paste on the tag, and then I kind of just pounced it on, and then that's what got all of those ridges, the texture. So it's pretty simple to do, especially if you want kind of a different look, and you don't have a lot of stencils, but you want something, you know, a different look. So it's that one. And let's add just a little bit black. I guess I just took a bunch of black of each different medium that I had, like sprays and stuff. So and I did add, so it's a light and fluffy paste, and then I painted it with white gesso. It's a little bit too much black, I think. All right, so that's that one. If you're just joining, I hope you say hello in the chat. I'd love to say hello to you. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. I'm trying to look at the chat a little bit and say hello. But I don't want to be too much on the chat, because I feel that's where I am too chatty, and it gets to be a little bit long for the people that are viewing after. Okay, I just got a bottle of sculpture medium and have not used it yet. Do you see a big difference in your fabric when using it? Are there any that look better when using it? The text, oh, the fabric medium. I have tried to play around with that stuff. I really honestly don't see the point of it. It doesn't make it as stiff as I would think it would. And I don't really recall the price of it. If you're talking about the Finnabair fabric medium, I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't really see the need for it, to be honest. It doesn't make like something super stiff, and I don't really know another product that you could use. I mean, it does make it a little less stiff, but not as stiff as I think I was thinking of it, because that product came out when I was on the Prima design team, and Finnabair had kind of explained to us what it was, and so I think I was under the impression that it would make it super stiff, like stand up straight, but it doesn't really. So, but I haven't played around with it too much. So I think Miss Liberty, I forget the numbers that she has in her YouTube channel, but I'm sure you all know Miranda. I think she's played around with it a little bit more. So yeah. All right. So this is the distress spray on top with the white gesso. And now I'm going to do some more waxes here. So I'm going to do 2 different ones. We're going to do the Amethyst Magic. And I do need a brush for this. So I guess I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get a new one. All right. So again, these waxes are amazing. If you haven't tried them, you really need to visit or try to find the video on my channel so you can see how they work. And they are permanent when they dry. All right, so we're going to add the purple basically to the whole thing to kind of cover up the black almost. I want to get in a lot of the grooves. Not like I did here on this one where I just did the top of the texture. I want to get a little bit more coverage on this one. And this is just to give you an idea of what the different textures look like after adding color to them, because there's so many different ways that you can add color. I'm just giving you a few different ideas. So, all right, so this is the, what color was this? Amethyst Magic. I'm just going to add, and I want a little bit of that black to still show through because I want it to be, you know, to have a more dimension. And then because it's here, I'll just use the old silver. No, let's use the white gold. So again, I just kind of rub the paintbrush in the wax, kind of getting a little bit too much. And then I'll take it and kind of wipe it off on the cap. And then very lightly, I'm just going to go over and just highlight some of those textures. You get to see maybe. Has anybody used the waxes before? Okay, so Kelly, and I know before I had thought that the chat was gone after the live video, but there is a little tab where you can see the chat. But Kelly asks, is there any problem with adding addition medium on top of the wax? I find yes, because it is a wax, sprays, and the sprays will just roll off. They will not stay. So I can give you an idea. So it just kind of beads up and then it'll fall off. I think if you were to heat it and then let it dry, it might stay, but it definitely is not something that I would recommend. If you're asking like gesso or paint, I haven't tried to use paint on top of the waxes, but it's kind of impossible to add another medium on top of the waxes, and I hope that helps. Stephanie asks, have you tried heating the wax for a few seconds? I have not, and I think a while back I had seen Miranda do it, and she comes up with the coolest ideas, and but I haven't, so. All right, we are going to move on. So again, that was the tag where I added the light and fluffy paste, basically modeling paste, and just kind of tapped it around to add the ridges. And then that's what the color looks like. All right, so I'm glad that I went to my kids' school and helped this morning instead of after, because I would be looking like a crazy person with all this ink on my hands. Yes, Kelly, you want to basically be done with adding your color before adding the wax on. Because if you're wanting to add watercolors or sprays, it will be really, really hard to do that. All right, next one here is the what was this? Oh, the tissue paper, the Tim Holtz tissue paper. So on the top, I just kind of crinkled it a little bit and then left it flat on the bottom. All right, let's use some watercolors this time. Let's do a little bit of purple. So these are Pinkfresh Studio watercolors. They're very concentrated colors, and apparently Tiffany proof, because I cannot open it. Oh, come on. Let me see. Holy moly, I cannot get these open. All right, we're going to use, we'll do the Altenew watercolors. All right, if you are just joining, I hope you say hello in the chat. Hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, I hope you subscribe. And for those of you that have to hear me say that a million times, I apologize. Let's see. So for this, I'm just going to add the color to the white, and then we'll do a little bit of the metallic acrylic paint on the black. So let me get my watercolor brush, or a brush, and a little bit of water. So these are the Altenew watercolors. They are one of my favorites, but not my all-time favorite. They're still a little bit chalky. My all-time favorite is Daniel Smith watercolors, but I can only afford the chart, so I haven't really played with the full tubes or anything yet, but these are really great. So, because I was going to do purple and there's purple here, I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this. Add a little bit of water to the tag. Get it to to run. I mean, and you can even get really cheap Crayola watercolors and play around with it and see if you like that look, because each different medium is going to give you a different look. So you really kind of have to figure out what you like the most. I personally like the watercolors and the color bloom sprays the most out of everything that I use. So apparently this is the darkest color. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of, I think this is like a really dark gray. And so I'm just adding a little bit darker colors to give it a little bit more dimension. And this one, it was the tissue paper. So I just kind of crinkled up the tissue paper and yeah, pretty easy. And to give your project a bit of dimension and interest and texture. And again, if I was doing a full project, I would definitely play around and add more color and all that sort of thing. But because for the sake of the video, and I've already been on 30 minutes, so just kind of want to give you guys an idea of what it could look like with the different texture. So. Yes, sorry, I was reading the chat for those of you that are watching this later. I do have a video on the little dot system. I think I have the hardest time just choosing what colors, because I add a bunch to my cart and then it's like $300 and that's just too crazy for me. So, and then I can't narrow it down to, you know, a feasible amount. So it's just way too much. I can't decide. So I figure that I am either going to get none or all of them. So that's why I haven't bought the tubes yet. And I think because I'm not a watercolorist, like am not an artist in that sense, I have a hard time spending that much on the watercolors too. So, but yeah, so that is that one. And then now I'm going to go over to the black gesso. And we are going to still do purple because it's right here. All right. So this is color Plum Preserves. So with the paint, not like the, what did I use before? I'm sorry, the wax. It is going to basically cover the whole thing. So there really isn't going to be any black showing because it is a little bit more runny than the wax. So this is an acrylic paint from Finnabair. So you can use any acrylic paints. I just have these on hand. And the mat that I am using is from Ken Oliver. I love it. I love it. It's pretty easy to clean. And underneath, I actually got the new Tim Holtz glass mat, which I was going to use, but if you could see my reflection and everything, it's not very video friendly. So, all right. So there's that. And then this does need to dry a little bit before you add another color. So I'm going to just kind of heat it a little bit. And for this, I'm going to use the Ranger heat tool, not my heat gun where I would use to emboss. So there's a little bit of difference Not much, but. And the acrylic paint does dry fairly fast, pretty fast. I mean, it's really not coming up on my fingers that much. So you really don't need to do this if you just have a minute to wait. But for the sake of the video and the live, I'm going to heat it up. All right. I think it's a little bit tacky still, but we're just going to go with it. And I'm going to do the Ancient Coin. I think I had done these 2 colors in a separate video I did quite a few years ago. And when this separates, there's gold, or I'm sorry, there's gray in it. So I'm just kind of mixing it around a little bit. And for this, I am going to dry brush sort of the texture so that the texture will show up, the raised areas. And I did just wet my brush, so I'm gonna try to get it as dry as possible. So for this, you really want to use a dry brush, and then what you do is just you add a little bit of paint, and then you're going to brush a lot of it off just to have a little bit on your brush, because you don't want it to be too much. And with a very light hand, just barely brushing over, you can add highlights to the texture. I mean, a little bit too heavy-handed here. And hopefully you guys can see that. I know my hands are kind of in the way. But these colors are so pretty together, I think. And again, this is flat on the bottom portion of the tag, so you're not really going to get too much texture or dimension with that. But I am going to catch up on the chat just a little bit. Maureen, I love the light and fluffy paste. Stephanie, I haven't really used it too much. I got it from scrapbook.com. They had sent it to me to do a promo video kind of thing for their holiday gift guide. So I haven't really played around with it too much because I haven't been crafting that much, but I wanted to kind of play around with it today, but it didn't work out. But all right. Is that wax paint you're using right now? No, it is acrylic paint. So Prima and Finnabair, she has this line, Finnabair has this line called Art Alchemy, and these are acrylic paints and they're metallic. So she has a different ones. So there's metallic, then there's Opal Magic, and there's, let me grab another one here. They're just right here. There's Sparks. So these are super duper shimmery. I can use a little bit of that on here as well. So this is more, it's hard for me to explain. This almost looks like it has glitter in it, but it's not glittery. It's shimmery. I don't know. And this one, I don't know how to describe the difference, but there is a difference. And I love them both. And I've had them for quite a while, and they do not, I mean, they haven't dried up on me yet. So not like the rust paste. The rust paste, I love the rust paste, but it definitely, you have to really want to use it because it'll dry up on you. So the Sparks has a little bit more oomph to it, like a little bit more sparkly, I guess. What would the wax paint look like over watercolor paint? It would depend on, you would definitely want to check out my video of the, if you search on my channel, the Art Alchemy Wax video on my channel, you will see the different types of waxes, because you really need to know what the different properties are between them. And then I think depending on like what type of watercolor, like if it's like a landscape or something, I think adding cool little highlights here and there would look really nice, if that's what you're talking about. Yes, I agree. Okay, so on this side, I used the Altenew watercolors because it's white. And then on this side, the black gesso, you can't use watercolors on black gesso, so I'm using more metallic paints and waxes. Just to give you an idea, because it's the same texture, I'm just using different sprays and paints and stuff to cover it, to give you an idea of what it would look like. So I'm kind of more focusing on the texture rather than what medium I'm using or what paint I'm using or spray, just to give you an idea of what it would look like after you add color to it. So this is acrylic paint and this is watercolors. Same texture though. I hope that helps. All right, so we're gonna move on. I'm gonna clean my paintbrush before it gets, because the acrylic paint dries really quickly. And I am actually going to grab a sip of my coffee. And I'm using my favorite mug right now. I got it at Target. It says, "Awkward is my specialty," and that's definitely me. All right. Next, I need to get through these tags. So this is crackle paste. So we are going to use, you know what, let's do the Opal Magic so that you guys can see. I need to grab, oh, where did I put them? I put them, here they are. Let's do rose gold on the white. And I use the same little paintbrush for all of my waxes. Just find that it's easier because the wax will ruin your brush unless you have some cool brush cleaner that you know. Yes, I agree, Stephanie. It does look really, really cool. All right, so this is the rose gold wax. And I'm just going to lightly brush over. This is hard because it's curved a little bit. And it was cracking off here because I tried to bend it too much. If you want more of a like a lighter look, I'm going to use my finger on the bottom to do the black. And you kind of have a little bit more control because the bristles will get in a lot of that texture. And of course, it looks so much better on the black gesso, I think, the waxes. And it's hard probably to see all of the cracks on the tag, but it looks so cool. All right, so this is just crackle paste and wax on top. Oops. All right, we're gonna move on to the string, and let's use, you know what, I didn't take out, let me see if I have them right here. This is an older product, but it's definitely one of my favorites to use. So I'm going to use that on here. So these are water soluble oil pastels. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you can use them as regular oil pastels, or you can add water to them and use them basically as like a watercolor. So they're definitely one of my favorites. I've had this box for years, and as you could see, I haven't really made a dent in them. I do have my favorites, as you can see, but for the most part, I haven't really, used much of them. I used to use this product all the time. So you can use this a few different ways. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, each specific property of each paint and stuff like that, but just want to give you an idea of what the textures will look like. All right, so I added a little bit to my mat here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water and then kind of mix it around a little bit, and then it becomes more of like a watercolor. So I'm going to add it to the top here. And this tag, I just added texture using some string, and that is like some cotton string. I don't know where I put it. Like almost like twine. All right, and then the darker color. I always forget where I put things. And I love how the string just kind of soaks up the color. All right, and then you want to add a darker color. So I'm going to add black. And I am going to mix it in with a little bit of the blue so it's not so dark. All right, if you are just joining, I hope you say hello and give this video a thumbs up. I'd love to say hi to you. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I have a hard time deciding, am I like over like explaining or do I not explain enough? But let me see. I used Fabri-Tac on the back of the tag. So I didn't really use any glue on the front of the tag, just on the back. And if you don't have an option to add a glue to a back of a project, you can add, what's it called? I had it on my desk, and of course I put it away. The like matte gel or something along those lines, just kind of run it through a little bit, and then it should do fine. Or you can even use a little bit of hot glue. Maybe the oil pastels wasn't the best thing to use for this particular texture, but I think you guys get the idea. I do have lots of videos on using these. They're a lot of fun. I haven't really used them in a while. And all of the supplies, well, most of the supplies will be listed in the description box below. So if you want to check them out. All right, next we are going to continue to add color to the black gesso with the waxes. So this one is Mystic Turquoise. And again, I use the same brush. I'm gonna wipe some of it off. And this one is a darker color, so it's going to be hard, maybe a little bit hard to see the blue in the video, but it is really cool. And this one is one of the Antique Brilliance. So on white, it will be brown, and it does have like a brown undertone to it. It's pretty cool. I'm going to get in a little bit of those spaces there so that when I add, I mean, you definitely don't have to add a second color, but I like to just because it gives it a little bit more dimension. And you can use the metallic paint as well if you want to, if you don't have the waxes. You can use the, I don't know what brand of metallic paint, like acrylic paint you would get at a craft store, but you can use those as well. You don't necessarily have to use, you know, these bigger brand like products. I'm all about saving money, and I like products that you can use in different ways. So that's why I really like the oil pastels, because you can make sprays out of them. You can use them as watercolors. You can there's so many different ways to use them. They're really cool. And I do like the, what are they? The Nouveau Mousse, but they have dried up on me, so not sure how I feel about them anymore. So you could see there. So pretty cool. So again, white gesso, black gesso, same texture, just showing you guys how it turns out. All right, next I'm going to do, this one is hot glue. So I just kind of hot glued a little bit of little texture-ish stuff on here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this white gold on top here so you guys can see what it looks like. And I mean, something as simple as hot glue looks so cool. All right, I'm going to use, Let's do the color burst. So these go a really long way. Just need a little bit. And this is Prussian blue. And I'm going to be very careful when I spray this so it doesn't get everywhere, but you can see that how there was like 5 little droplets on there of the what is this? The powders. Just going to let it kind of do its thing. And just because I'm going to add a little bit of this burnt orange. Just because it's sitting right there. You could definitely, whoops, shouldn't have done that. You can use a paintbrush if you like. Let me use a little bit of black. Did I take out black in the color burst? I thought I did, but I guess not. So we'll just use a little bit of this. So I'm just going to add a little bit. Just like that. Hello, Miss Crafter. I know your name. I should know. Oh my goodness. You live so close to me too. And I've tried to visit you tons of time where you work, but I think I always get the wrong store or you're never working. Sammy, hi. Anne, Kelly, Stephanie, hello. Heavenly Zen, hello. Yes, there is, I mean, Heavenly Zen, there is not very many colors, but they are definitely worth a try to use because they are really, really great to use. And for those of you that shop online, scrapbook.com has 9% off your order today. Just putting it out there. Add a little bit more color. So again, this is just hot glue on here, on this tag. So just kind of give you an idea of what that would look like. I think it looks the coolest in the black gesso. All right, moving on. I'm going to flip over my paper towel here. We're going to do the cheesecloth. Let's do, trying to think. Let's do some Dylusion spray today. No, I did the distress spray. I can use the vintage silk. It's like it looks more brown on the, but it's really light on the inside. This is my favorite, so my favorite one to use. All right, so this is vanilla custard. I don't really use the Dylusion sprays that much because they're, as you could see, a little bit brighter than I normally would use on projects. Let's see. I feel like I brought out so much more, but I don't know where they are. I'm going to add a little bit of black to the back. Or let me see if I have a darker orange. Let me see if this will work. I don't think this is going to work. And a lot of these textures, you can even add like white gesso on top as well, like to highlight a lot of the areas. And if you're using, say, like this here, you can even go in and add the white or the vintage silk color on top. Because it is a darker color, you're going to be able to see it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just kind of highlights a little bit there. Kelly, Heavenly Zen. I was so scared of black gesso for the longest time, and then I just kind of dove right in, and I love creating projects using black gesso. I think when the that one doesn't go there. When the waxes came out, I think that's when I said, okay, I need to start, because just how it just looks is amazing. All right, there Nightbot goes again. Okay, if you're just joining in chat, Nightbot is an automated program that I am using, and I'm not exactly sure what it doesn't like, so I apologize. I'm definitely going to have to look into that and see. I didn't even set any restrictions or anything, so it just might be whatever the default is. So I apologize, Kelly. All right. Wanted to add a little bit of black there, and then I'm going to have it. Maybe these colors were a very bad idea for the cheesecloth. So this is cheesecloth. You know what? Maybe some blue. I'm adding some color burst because I'm not really feeling this here. And we'll see how it turns out. Need to kind of add a little bit more water to the cheesecloth because it is very thick. I'm going to kind of pounce my finger on here. All right, I think you guys kind of get the idea. This was a fail on this part. But the cool thing is the black gesso will always look cool. All right, I have, let's do, I think let me get a different color real quick. All right, I'm going to use the emerald green, or I'll do mermaid teal. Oh, wow, I haven't even used this color yet. All right. This video is going to be so much longer than I anticipated. So again, I'm going to, with the acrylic paint, I'm going to kind of add a lot. And then we can highlight with a lighter color. And I do have water on this brush. That's why it's kind of. So this color is Mermaid Teal. And why I have not used this color, I have no idea. It's crazy because it's a really pretty color. I am going to heat this up just a tad. All right, and I'm going to actually do wax on top of the acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the wax on my finger, and I'm just going to add a little bit to the top here. And this is brushed iron, which I'm not sure this is going to be the greatest color for this. Let's try white gold. Hi, Christine. That's a little bit better. So if you're just joining, what I'm doing is I had a video about a week ago or so, and I added a bunch of different texture ideas to these tags. So now I'm just adding color to them. So, and I painted half in black gesso and half in white gesso, just to see how it would look after adding it. So, right, there's the cheesecloth. And I really need to get through these because I just need to. All right. I'm just going to add the brushed iron wax to the black here. And again, I'm just putting my brush in, and I'm using the same brush for all waxes. I don't really care. Some people might, I don't. And then kind of brushing a little bit of it off and just lightly going over the top. And this tag here is washi tape. You can also use masking tape. I did kind of the same technique with tissue paper. You can do this technique with all sorts of different things. So if you missed the video of what kind of textures I added to each tag, it is on my channel. It's just the last video that I uploaded, and it is not a live video, so I kind of go, it's a pre-recorded video, and I know a lot of people like those better, but I know people are liking the live videos as well. So this I love. So cool. Okay, I'm just kind of reading the chat. Mossy Hunter, over black too. Hello, Inspired Caroline. I hope you share your project. You can always tag me or however that works on Instagram. Okay, so the Nightbot, the program that I'm kind of loving but kind of hating at the moment, is sharing the link to the video. So if you haven't watched it, it's just a bunch of really easy texture ideas. And let's just do some more color bloom sprays. Let's try this Victorian velvet color. Ooh, this is pretty. It's like a dusty pinkish color. So this is just adding color to the textures, not really comparing any type of, anything, or but just kind of giving you an idea of what really simple textures, like this is just the washi tape. So you can really get some cool effects using that. And again, the supplies are listed in the description. Kind of just a general, I wasn't sure what colors I was going to use, so it's kind of just a general link to different places. So with the white gesso, you really, if you want to add a lot of texture and dimension, what you want to do is add the lighter color first and then darker after, and then you can add a little bit of water if you want and have it kind of mix in together and kind of do its thing. And like I said before, I can't remember who it was, but somebody had asked if I could go over how to add color and make it look, I don't remember what the exact wording was, but just kind of make it look good, or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what she had said, but I think the key is when you're first starting, or really with any project, you want to really do the lightest color first and kind of focus mainly just on the area you want the color. So for me, I like white space. Some people ask me all the time, why do you leave so much white space? Why not fill up the whole page or whatever? I personally like white space. To me, it looks a little bit more appealing. For some, obviously, it doesn't. So it's just always up to you. But adding a little bit of color at first and then watering it down as much as you want, just to kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. With the sprays, it's really simple just to add a ton of water and kind of just have it drip off. Acrylic paints, you're kind of just stuck with it unless you want to add gesso over it again. But yeah, so I would just suggest, if you're starting out or kind of stuck, just adding a little bit of color first, kind of working your way to more, and then the darker color. I think you're asking, Barbara, how to get the tags flat again. I don't know. I think some things that bother some people really don't bother me that much. I really don't know, just because there's so much texture on here, it's gonna be hard to have it lay flat. See, there you go. That's why I honestly love these chats and these live videos, because you guys have so many wonderful ideas and kind of help each other out and chat with each other. It's really, really fun to see and chat with you guys and have you guys give me ideas. It's so much fun to inspire each other and kind of get ideas from each other. All right, next. I really want to use these Pinkfresh Studio watercolors, so I'm really going to try to get these open. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I used these before. So this is some art stones and mini art stones, and then some of the texture powder from Finnabair. It's kind of a little bit hard to see, but so I'm just gonna add a little bit of this watercolor here, and then I'm gonna spray it. It's very concentrated. So it's a little vibrant for my liking, but and then I'm going to add a little bit more in the center here. And instead of adding a darker color, I just kind of sprayed a little bit more water than I would normally. And then I'm going to add more concentrated color with the same color, if that makes sense. So I'm adding the darker color with this. Because it is a dark color, I sprayed it to water it down. That's what I'm trying to say. If you are new to my channel, I have a hard time with words sometimes. So if you just give me a second, I can kind of think it through. All right. And if you are just joining, hello, I'm sorry if I missed you. Please say hi in the chat if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And it lets me know that you guys like these videos. All right, so the black, let's do something different. Let's do green brocade. So this is an opal magic wax. So again, well, I can't, let me see. Let's try here. This is just going to be kind of white on top. I believe this is, I don't know, you guys probably can't see that. Hello, Mega. I hope I'm saying your name right. Just want to add I wanted to add a little bit different. This is just a really light green. It looks darker. It looks like it'd almost be like army green on the top here, but it's kind of light. So just kind of giving you guys an idea of what the texture looks like. All right, next is, what is this? Oh, this is washi tape just laid flat. So I kind of wanted to try something just, you know, if you're just starting and really want to ease your way into adding texture and dimension and different things to your projects, this is definitely a great way because you're still adding a little tiny bit, not too much, because it's just washi tape laid flat together. So you're going to see that even just the washi tape itself, you can add texture. And honestly, the magic really is the wax. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just an amazing product. Well, this color is really pretty, actually. I don't think I've ever used this color. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but you can kind of see the texture here. I think Heavenly Zen, you're new, like just barely coming on. Nightbot is a like a automated program that I'm using, and I don't know what you said. So, but it says sometimes you scare me. I don't know. I apologize. I'm really gonna have to look into that. I just started using it. I actually, you guys are probably gonna laugh, but I watch a streamer, a gamer streamer. She uses Nightbot, and that's how I found out about it. So I added it last night, and then I haven't really had time to, play around with it or anything, and I don't know what it's deciding what is bad and not bad. So I apologize. No, green brocade it doesn't show up that well on camera, but it is a little bit green. It's way lighter green than I had thought. But it's a little bit green. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of because the green brocade is so light, it might be a little bit hard to see. I'm actually gonna have to make a project using these two colors, the vintage silk and the green brocade. Because the vintage silk, it has like a brownish tone to it. So, and the green, it just looks really, really cool. All right. If you're just joining, say hi in the chat, please. And hopefully Nightbot won't get you. I'm really sorry about that. Definitely going to have to see what's going on over there, because it does have some default like phrases and things that it thinks, like if you use all caps, or maybe you put a link, or are using a ton of emojis or something, then I think it thinks you're spamming the chat. So yeah. All right, let's do some color burst. I'm going to do burnt orange. I'm actually going to add a little bit of water first. See, me just tipping it over just ever so slightly and opening it, it got a little bit on there. This stuff is amazing. The color burst powders. But again, they're super, super messy. Oh, see, here's an example. I did add wax to the bottom here, and see how it just kind of beads up and falls off, and it won't go down there on the bottom. Heavenly Zen, yes, the wax does dry very well. If you, it's what was I gonna say? See, I have a hard time reading and trying to answer your questions at the same time. All right, so it dries permanently, as far as like a project, if you're going to handle it now and then, but something that you're going to handle all the time, I wouldn't suggest using, although I haven't really had any issues with any, you know, coming off or anything like that, but it does dry permanent. And yes, it is, I mean, a wax is resist. Somebody did ask, I can't remember who it was, but somebody had asked if they should wait to add the wax after adding all of the color. And the answer is yes, because you're not going to be able to add color once the wax is on. So I am going to, whatever color is on here, maybe. What did I use on? Oh, I used acrylic paint, so that might not work. Maybe a little bit. All right. I'm just going to add. I'm going to add, so on this one, it has the, like the lines. I'm just going to add a little bit of color where, darker color where the lines are, where the washi tape meets, if that makes sense. I should have waited till it dried. I'm going to get another paper towel. And I think Nightbot is mainly for gamers that stream. So I don't know. So yeah, but I thought it was a really nice tool because I kind of want to say, like, it brought up the video that I am doing the tags on. So the video where I had created all the tags. So I kind of wanted an automated system to kind of add that stuff in the chat without having to bother somebody to be a moderator, you know. But we'll see how it works out in the end after I kind of have a little bit more play around with it, the Nightbot. I think the idea is really cool, but so now I'm kind of dry brushing these on where the washi tape creases are. And again, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. But all right, you kind of get an idea. This is just washi tape flat. So, all right, a few more. We might get in under 2 hours. All right, which I told my husband max an hour. My husband does work from home, so he's probably dying to eat lunch or something right now. Oh, that's so cool, Stephanie. So you guys might laugh even more. I actually play Fortnite and I actually love it. I play with my kids, and that's how I learned about Nightbot, is watching a girl streamer. Yeah. Anyways, more of my nerdy, geeky side, I guess. Let's see. Trying to think. Let's do the rose gold again. So this is the chipboard pieces kind of stacked on top of each other. Not really any, well, kind of. I tried to have some sort of design if I was doing this as a full project. So it's kind of in the center more than, you know, all over. So again, this is just gonna add a little bit of dimension. So I'm just gonna add it, brush it on a little bit. And you can use cereal boxes, any type of thing that you want to recycle as well. And if you go back to the video, you can see tons of people have suggested lots of wonderful ideas to add texture. I typically use a lot of these ideas on one project. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more ideas. That's really, really cool. That's cool, Kelly. I love taking, so I have a few, well, a couple DSLRs, and I love to take pictures of birds. One day when I hit the lottery or something happens and I'm able to get the lens that I want, is like $10,000. So, but I love taking pictures, photographs of birds and squirrels when we go camping and things like that. All right, let's add, did we do this? Oh yeah, we did do the wax on the white. All right, let's see here. Kind of running out of different ideas here. All right, so I'm going to add Color Bloom spray on the bottom here. And this is my all-time favorite color. It is the Dragonfly Blue. You guys will see me use this color all the time. And you can use the same color to add, so like I watered it down quite a bit. And so I can go in again, because this is a darker color, I can go in again and add more dimension to it. So you just gotta let it dry in between. So wherever you want more dimension and that texture to show, you're gonna add more color. So you don't have to have two different colors, but if you have a darker color that isn't too dark, like black, although you can water black down to basically gray and then do those two colors, but I think you guys get the idea. Yes, jewelry, watch parts. If you have an old sewing machine, or you find one at a thrift store for $5 or something. I use computer parts, all sorts of different things to add texture, and for mixed media, it's actually really cool. All right, so that's going to be that one. Oh, I normally take pictures in the summertime. So we go to Utah and camp up at Duck Creek, if any of you are familiar. It's kind of by Brian Head a little bit. But yeah, that's where we like to go. And I like to take pictures. I try to get a picture of the birds getting the fish, that sort of thing. I do pretty okay, but not as good as I would want to. I think this is the green. All right, 2 more. I think we can do it under 2 hours. All right, if you're watching later, I apologize for so much chit chat, and I am working on an idea to be able to do the live and also have a video later on for those of you that like the sped up video. Not so much chit chat, just kind of straight to the point. I know a lot of people don't really care for the live videos. All right, next is, this is that drywall tape-ish stuff. It just is kind of, it has a cool little texture to it. All right, this one I'll use, let's see what other colors I got over here. Okay, so here's a green. This one is Lucky Emerald. I'm thinking it's green. We'll probably be surprised. All right, if you're just joining, I hope you say hi, and thank you for everybody that has been here. I do really appreciate you guys more than you know. All right. Yeah, so this one is definitely green. And it has the brown undertone because it is an antique brilliance. So I'm kind of trying to get in a lot of those little spaces. And then you can go in with, let's do the vintage silk. And that's funny. Well, thank you for hanging out. Okay, that one isn't going to do. So let's try silver. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Hopefully Nightbot won't flag you for anything. What time is it here? It is 1:41 p.m. So I'm trying to hurry so I can get some dishes done. I was at my kids', well, my daughter's school. I help out in my niece's class. It's kind of weird, but I help out in my niece's class on Monday mornings, doing whatever she needs. I help kids, you know, write, or she's in kindergarten, so or copies or whatever she needs. So, and then my son gets home about 2:30 from junior high. So I'm trying to hurry up a little bit here. All right, let's do some more of the oil pastels. So this time I'm just adding it straight to the project. And I can't really tell you, well, maybe I can tell you what color. This is Prussian blue. I love that color, obviously, because I use it in every chance that I get. All right, and then I'm just going to add some water to my paintbrush, and then I'm just going to spread it around. Really easy, great product to use. If you're wanting something that you can use multiple different ways, this is definitely a product that you would want to get. Because things are definitely pricey, so kind of want to really think about what is best for your style. So this is just going to add a little bit more dimension. So this is black. I'm just going to and this is that painter's tape meshy stuff. So I absolutely love Finnabair products. I have different products. I have the Dylusions paints. I have the Nouveau mousses. I have all sorts of different products, but I genuinely really, really love all the Finnabair products. Just just my go-to. All right, next, let's see. I'm going to add a little bit of this Prussian blue, the Ken Oliver Burst, just because I was just thinking about something. I'm going to get a little chatty here. My daughter, one of her friends, her parents are from Germany, and they had gone to Germany for the holidays, and she brought back a bunch of cookies and different things. So they were showing me this morning. So you could see there. They are pretty expensive, especially if you do live in a different country. It is, I get comments all the time that it's hard for people to get the products that I use. Biscuits. Oh, I guess maybe. I think that's what they call. I think she was calling them treats. Or I think it was like chocolates. It was like cookies or crackers maybe dipped in chocolate. I'm sorry, I I guess I do mean biscuits. All right, so that's that one. This is a really cool way to add texture as well. All right, last one here. This one's going to be, I think, pretty simple. Let's do, what other colors do I have over here? Okay, Nabel, you're going to want to check out my last video. So I had created a video where I did a bunch of tags using different items. Like this, I used chipboard, washi tape, hot glue, all sorts of different things. And then I painted half with black gesso and half with white gesso. And then now I'm just adding color, different color to show you what the texture would be like. So we're going to be a little adventurous and use copper. I think I've only used this in that video of on my channel of the waxes. So this one is, let me find it because I don't know what it's called. I found it in the same area as this. So this is that one that I had done before. It has kind of like a meshy feel. And this is just like paper. But it almost has like a handmade paper feel to it, like a recycled paper. So it kind of soaks up, like if you were to add sprays and stuff, it would soak up really cool, really nice and look really cool. All right, so this is the copper wax. I'm being way too heavy-handed here. Yes, I found it at Walmart. I don't know if there's a similar store if you are in a different country. Yes, I'm almost done, Nabel, so you could definitely go check it out. And if you read the chat, there's tons of different ideas that everybody gave in the chat. And if you have any ideas yourself, definitely leave them in the chat. Okay, Kim, you're in the US, so I'm sure you know Walmart then. I got it at Walmart, them at Walmart. You can probably, I mean, you find them at Home Depot, Lowe's. All right. Let's see. And let's do the Dragonfly Blue just because I like it. It's my favorite. Love the copper with the black. Yeah, I think I might, copper with gold. I do have white gold or regular gold. I have bronze, turquoise. I don't have, is there a regular gold? I don't even know. There might be more of these waxes. Just didn't get them. Let's try that. Well, that dries a little bit. Ooh, that does look cool. Ooh, I love that. See, I'm loving this because I would have never thought to do this. And the green brocade with the vintage silk, I would have never thought to do that either. So this is a lot of fun. I'm going to try to do a live at least once a week. If I continue to like it and it seems to be something that people enjoy on my channel, then I'll try to do maybe 2 a week. But trying to figure out what to do, I think, is the hardest thing for me, because when I do my workshops, I think, oh, I have this great idea of something, and then once I sit down to create, I have like a block. I can't create. So if I have to do something, it's sometimes I think I'll probably wing it, but no, honestly, my kids are in school all day. My husband works from home. The day works best. Nighttime really doesn't work that great for me unless it's like a Friday night or something that I don't have to wake up and get the kids to school and make their lunches and breakfast and all that super early, because my son wakes up at 5:15 in the morning to catch the bus to school. So I do really like this, even, you know, if, you know, other people on my channel don't, like a lot of my subscribers prefer the straight to the point videos, which I personally like that type of format, straight to the point. Although if I can catch a live, I like staying and chatting a little bit, but it is a little hard for me to catch a live. But yeah, so I need to add a little bit of dark here. So I'm going to add a little black, and then and if you are interested, anybody, I have workshops over on my website, which is just tiffanysolorio.com. And it kind of is the same sort of, it's not, I'm trying to say here. So it's a slower, it's like about an hour-ish videos, and they go into more detail about like if I was to upload the video to YouTube and do it, it would be probably about 10 minutes. But then because it's a workshop, I try to make it a little bit more lengthy and explain in more detail. And then you're able to join a Facebook page and all that sort of thing. I'm going to try to do another workshop in the near future, but I just don't know what. Deborah, I'm not making a tag today. I'm just sort of showing different ideas for texture. So I did a video about a week ago on just different texture ideas, and then I painted half white and half black, and then I just added color to them. So that's what I'm doing today. And I think my next live video will probably we'll keep it the same time. Well, we'll see. I won't say anything yet because I might do one in a few days, maybe like Wednesday or Thursday. But I might do a full tag using a few of these texture ideas. And then, yeah. So Deborah, if you want to catch the video, you can. It's just the last one that I had uploaded. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of chat and add the color so that if you guys had any questions or anything. So yeah. I don't know how many tags. I think there's 13 tags. So lots of different ideas for texture. And then colors. Just something different for me to do for you guys. So yeah. And I used, the only thing I didn't use that I thought that I wanted to use was the India inks. I love the India inks. You can use those in different ways as well. The only problem with those is that they dry permanent. So you can't, like, if I were to want to go back and kind of play around with the color on this tag or this one, I could because they're water-based. Either watercolors or the sprays, but the India inks you can't because they dry permanent, but they still are pretty cool to use. So that sounds cool, Stephanie. Yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys being here and spending almost 2 hours. Some of you have been here the whole time, and I do appreciate it. And I appreciate those that just kind of stopped by to say hi. And those of you watching after, I will have links down below, all that sort of thing. And I can't remember exactly where it is, but there is a tab somewhere where you can see the chat. Somebody had pointed that out, and then I found it. So, but yeah, I am going to end it here. I really need to get a few things done before my kids get home from school. I know, Deborah, you can, as soon as this stops, you can go and watch it over. I know it's not the same as kind of interacting while I'm doing it, but if I do another one, it will be probably Wednesday at noon. So I'll try to figure out what I got going on. And then if I do decide to do one, I will make it an event again. I don't know if that showed up for anybody. I'm hoping it did on YouTube so that people can kind of get an idea of when I'm going to do it. So, and I'll definitely work on that Nightbot so it doesn't keep retracting your guys' comments. Okay, that's good, Kelly. That's good to know. But all right, here's another look at the tags really quickly. This one is just this drywall painters, I don't know what this is, drywall paper, I don't know. And this one is just hot glue. This one is just washi tape laid flat. This one is cut up chipboard, but you can use cereal boxes, that sort of thing. This one is that meshy type painter's tape or drywall tape. This is just string. And this is, what is on here? This is tissue paper. You can use, I use the Tim Holtz tissue paper, but you can use like party tissue paper. This is crackle paste, crackle medium. This is cheesecloth. This is texture powder, art stones and mini art stones. This is washi tape, kind of crunched up. And you can do this with masking tape as well. This is just like a lacy type of material. And this is just modeling paste where I kind of pounced the brush on to kind of get those peaks in the texture. So really simple ideas. Just wanted to go over that with you guys just in case. I know a few of you are just joining. Stephanie, I pray and hope that your father has a speedy recovery. All right, I am now going to go though, for real this time. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button. And if you're watching after the live stream, I hope you guys leave a comment in the down below. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.